Join Third Rate Content as we explore the Shropshire village of Shrawardine and find out why its castle is a ruin and why its church was destroyed and then rebuilt, and why bloody warfare and destruction was far from unknown in what is now a sleepy Shropshire village. And welcome back to Third Rate Content. And today we are in the westerly, sort of northwesterly Shropshire village of Shrawardine, or Shrawardine. But it is actually pronounced locally as Shrawardine. So I got that right early on. But I'm going to continue calling it Shrawardine because that's how I read it. And that's how I've always said it. Although I haven't said it many times because I've never visited this Shropshire village before. It's all new. And I hope we all enjoy it together. So buckle up and I'll see you out here. So the cottage behind me is called the courthouse, and it isn't the original cottage on this site. There was a building here before, also known as the courthouse, that burnt down. But this was originally where miscreants and criminals were held in the basement of that place until it burnt down. But it is said that the courthouse is supposed to have tunnels running underneath it that run up a short way up the hill to the church. A lot of legends like this exist all over the country, but I don't think we'll be finding out about the tunnels today. But it's a lovely little legend, local legend. Of course, we did find out about the tunnels because I just mentioned them. There could be something to it. Who knows? We're not going to find out today. And this is what you call a thatched cottage. You don't get more English than that, or traditional English. It is gorgeous. That detail. It's a craft or... I do need to do some research on thatched roofs because my knowledge is lacking a bit. But I do know that is something that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. A classic red telephone box in use from 1926. Yeah, as you can see, this old-fashioned phone box still in use. It's actually a defibrillator now, so it's getting some use. You know, lots of people have heart attacks these days, seem to be. That wall is not plumb. Or it certainly isn't now anyway. It probably was when it was built. Yeah, that is a very old looking door. In fact, it looks like it was built in the English Commonwealth or crafted. I'm just going to edit over what I said on site at Shrawardine because it was probably a bit rude, but I do believe churches should be open 7 days a week to visit, and if you're a Christian worship at. But I've edited over what I said anyway. We won't be going in the church today. It was closed. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on churches being closed, open. Obviously, the issues that face churches. I know there is things that go on, thefts, etc. And tell us in the comments. Thanks. Yes, Shrawardine, his name originates in Old English, Saxon. And it means scraith and werthain, which actually means enclosure near a hollow or pool. And it is actually thought that the second part is relating to Shrawardine Pool, which is just half a mile north of here. And it's thought the two places share the name because of the pool. That's current thinking. These beauties right under the yew tree. Yeah, I've been reading some interesting stuff lately about fungus and mushrooms and that, and how their networks help trees to communicate. You know, in a forest or anything, that the fungus actually conducts the messages of which trees need nutrients or whatever they need, and they're all working together, nature. And I did see an very interesting documentary on YouTube on the Traveller in Time channel about this very subject as well. And I would recommend you check it out and check that channel out. It's very, very good. Yeah, and we've got this ubiquitous ancient yew tree here. Or at least ancient looking. It has a hefty girth. We know in pre-Christian religions or beliefs, yew trees are said to symbolise eternal life. So they really did have a lot of meaning for those people. And they were also planted around churchyards in the Christian era. So, you know, you've got like older yew trees and younger yew trees often mixing together, as we've seen at nearby Little Ness Church, which we covered last year, only about 2 miles north from here. Of course, we're in early September now, September the 5th when we're recording this, and it is mushroom season. And I would think it would be quite a bountiful mushroom season this year with all the rain we've had. I don't think they're going to be remembered, or we're not going to be remembering their name for extended afterlife longevity. In the distance there, that is the Bredon Hills, just getting on for Welshpool and the Welsh border over that way. Yeah, the original medieval Norman church here at Shrawardine was destroyed during the English Civil War by royalists who were using the nearby castle, and the church would have provided too much cover. It's just over the road, the castle, the remains of it. We'll go and see it soon. But they destroyed it very much like Stokesay Church near Stokesay Castle, as they just couldn't tolerate it nearby, fire coming from it. So they pulled it down, and it was rebuilt during the English Commonwealth in the 1640s. Though it is actually believed that part of the north wall is actually still medieval. You know, this was left, and then this was used as the base for the rebuilding. Yeah, the cusped lancet window here on the north wall is supposed to be original, or thought to be, possibly. It's really hard to know exactly what is original, but I would say these windows, or that one especially, definitely looks older than the ones over on the south wall. Tomb here, it looks like it is in danger of tipping over at some point in future. I'd hate to think of it doing that, or something. Hopefully something would be done about it, but yeah, I suppose they're long dead and gone, and probably their relatives and descendants are no longer with us. Who knows though? I'm just speculating. Interesting recess. It does look like it's set into the ground actually, this one. See the names here. You can see them, but not well enough to read them. I've seen one like that before. Yeah, if you look here, the path edging has actually been made from fragments of grave markers. And now we're just going to have a quick look at the ruin of Shrawardine Castle. Very faint graffiti or carvings on there. Got no idea how old they are, but it's something. There's something there. I don't really know why this piece of tape's here. Is it supposed to be stopping the castle falling down or protecting people? It's doing absolutely nothing but looking a bit unsightly. And you can see some of the mighty blocks, red sandstone that's in here, and the mortar. Sort of all jumbled together, but they were big bricks, big blocks. And you can see the basic outline of the castle here with its dipped moat on the extremities. It wasn't huge, but it was here to defend this part of Shropshire from the Welsh threat, which is just over there past those hills, the Bredon Hills. And in fact, in 1135, the castle was captured by Llewellyn the Great when he captured Shrewsbury and burnt to the ground. It was rebuilt. Yeah, up on the top you have got this hollow, and I don't know whether this, well, I think it probably was a lower floor of the castle, perhaps the dungeon or a basement, because because obviously the structure would have been going up. So you'd have had maybe 2 floors above the ground floor and then another that we're in here in the basement. Now, I'm just speculating and guessing, but that's what it looks like by the low-lying ground in here. Yeah, I don't know when this restoration work was done, but they're not imperial bricks, they're modern bricks. So after the Victorian age, probably looking at them in the last 40 to 50 years, keeping this corner of the castle standing. Real shame though that they couldn't get something more in keeping. You know, they look ugly, but I don't know how many people visit this castle, and it is just good at standing still in places. Yeah, the castle here at Shrawardine was rebuilt in the centuries after Llewellyn the Great burnt it down. I try though, I do battle, it's Llewellyn the Great. But in the centuries that followed, in the 1600s, in the English Civil War, this castle was held by the Royalists. And the reason, I've told you, the reason they knocked the church down was because of the cover. They thought they were going to have fire rained on them just from a couple of 100 yards away at the church. So they made sure it was level so that all positions were defended. The siege of the castle actually lasted 5 days before the Royalists surrendered, and this happened in 1645. After this, Shrawardine Castle was demilitarised. It is thought that the stones from this castle were used to help rebuild Shrewsbury Castle, nearby Shrewsbury Castle, and the Severn side walls in Shrewsbury, which we have showed on Third Rate Content a couple of years ago. It became just a hump in the ground, but at least its materials were getting used somewhere else. Yeah, I'm useless pronouncing Welsh names, Irish names, European names. I'm just useless as long as it's English, and most of the times then it's pronounced wrong. But oh well, at least I get out and visit the places. Yeah, you got stone here hidden in the thick undergrowth. Quite a bit actually. Look at that. What is this? I haven't got any gloves on. Only gloves with me today, so I can get the nettles down. I don't know if that was the garderobe, possibly. Yeah, because it falls down here. I would say, yeah, that is the garderobe. Most possibly, that's my best guess. The record books in the medieval times called Shrawardine, Saladin, that was in 1086 in the Domesday Book, Shrawardine, and that's in 1165, and Shrawardine, and that is in 1166. So the name was like there or thereabouts, but evolving all the way through the high medieval period. You know, it really gets me thinking about the layers upon layers of history, mystery, folklore, legend and magic on this channel, and the places we visit. That generations of fighting men would have feared for their lives, took the lives of others here as well as fearing for their own, and basically fought for survival in this very locale. I mean, you've got the Civil War royalists and parliamentarians here. Then you've got the medieval Norman troops fighting the likes of Llewellyn the Great, and perhaps even going back further in history. You know, you've got yew trees around here. I would say this area was probably in use, you know, in prehistory. So much has happened here, and we're visiting it, and it just takes a little bit of imagination just to think of all the high emotions that were spent in this very location. And I think from this angle, you can almost see the squareness of the castle, you know, going out over here and then sort of up here, the boundaries of it and the rough outline. I mean, you still had a fair bit to go up. Even though this castle was taken and destroyed, you still had a fair hill to make your way up while you're being assaulted with projectiles, rocks, quarrels from crossbows, arrows, and then when you get up there, you've got swords, axes, and blunt weapons to deal with at this hand-to-hand sort of range. Pretty grisly. And you wouldn't believe that happened here. Right here, you know, it's so quiet, tranquil, pastoral farmland now that it's bloody past. Really is a distant memory. But it's easy for me just to think about it though, and I'm sure it is for you if you're watching this channel, to imagine what went on here. And even the more domestic scenes, you know, when there isn't a battle going on, you know, the people living here, cooking here, sleeping here, perhaps having romantic interludes around here. You know, it's all went on here, and just like life goes on, it continues to go on today in different ways, obviously with less bloodshed, thankfully. Yeah, this, as much of a ruin as this is, I don't think it's the most ruined castle I've ever visited. That title would go to Middle Castle, nearby in North Shropshire, the former home of Mad Humphrey Kynaston, the sort of highwayman, 14th century highwayman, 15th century, you know. His castle, all that's left of that is one corner, and it's like one chimney stack. At least there's walls and two corners left of this one, so it's substantially a bigger castle. So thank you for joining us on today's visit to Shrawardine, or Shrawardine as the locals call it. Been a great visit to somewhere I'd heard the name Shrawardine or Shrawardine, but I'd never visited it. I had no idea where it was in Shropshire till I started researching the castle and the red sandstone church, which are linked historically. So anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, why don't you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, but thank you if you have. Hit the notification bell if you want to be updated on all third-rate content goings on, and leave a comment. I do love a good comment. I read them all and I reply back where appropriate and applicable. So anyway, thanks for today. Third-rate content signing out. Bye bye.